Today we're going to go back to a storyline that we started up a long time ago with Old Man Logan. We're going to go back to our Wolverine storylines, but this one is pretty standalone. In this one, Wolverine's going to murder pretty much every single member of the ninja clan, The Hand, in Japan. He's going to save his daughter, he's going to team up with Sabretooth, fight against Sabretooth, kill Mystique. I don't know. There's a lot of murder and stuff going on, and you decide at the end who's actually dead and who's not. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then, I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Our tale begins in Japan as Logan looks down at Harada's grave and the voice of Yuriko tells him that they buried him where he fell. Logan tries to say that he's sorry, this is his fault, but the ones who did this all, burned the buildings, killed the Silver Samurai, took her legs, they were the Red Right Hand, right? And now they're all dead. Logan tells her yes, and Yukio says, then there's nothing to whine about, so come, we have much to discuss. As the two make their way through the destroyed village, Yukio says that she assumes that he's come back because of the war. With the Silver Samurai's death leading the clan Yashida leaderless, the Hand and the Yakuza have moved in. With the Hand assassinating the supreme godfather of the Yamaguchi Gumi, Takenaka, war is inevitable. Soon Yukio opens up the door and she says that this is the ancestral fortunes of Clan Yashida, the secret treasure of the Silver Samurai. Logan looks around telling her, it's impressive, and I take it you know that we're being followed, right? Yukio tells him that she may be paralyzed, but she's not deaf. This is just the quickest way to draw them out. Logan is suddenly blown away, and once he gets back up, him and Yukio begin slaughtering the attackers. 82 seconds later, as Yukio kills the last of them, she says that this always puts her in the mood. How about they go around the block once for old time's sake? She does have some feeling below the waist. Logan ignores the question and says, surely the treasure hunt isn't the only thing that they were after. And Yukio says that's right, they were hoping to find a clue on Harada's heir. She read the will. The Silver Samurai had a son. Logan asks where he can find the kid. Yukio tells him that she's a bit hesitant in telling him because it answers another question that he hasn't asked yet. Elsewhere, Amiko, Logan's adoptive daughter, tells Shin that she's really not sure what they're doing here. Shin tells her that it's simple. They're breaking into the most sophisticated corporate laboratory in all of Tokyo with secrets so coveted that they allegedly used assassins as security guards. Amiko asks why exactly is she helping him with a crazy and highly illegal plan, and he says that because she's his girlfriend. And she has to admit that it sure beats the hell out of dinner and a movie. A short while later, Shin bursts out of the wall of the lab stating that he's got the power source and now he can finally power his suit. As Shin asks Amiko how she's doing, he quickly realizes that she was captured by the laboratory security. Meanwhile, over in a restaurant in another part of town, a woman leads a few Yakuza to a table, saying that he will see them now. The man at the table asks what is it that he can do for them, and one man says that they have come with a business proposal. The man says that's funny, last time he checked, him and the Yakuza weren't exactly on the same side, and the man continues stating, 1 million in cash. Someone will be waiting for him at the Los Angeles airport in 12 hours. The man then says that he's starting to like it here. This Kobe beef sure is something. Besides, there's a meeting planned tomorrow, and his boss sure would be sore if he missed it. The Yakuza then pull out all of their guns, telling him that that's not good enough. And Victor Creed asks, are you sure you don't want some of this beef? They can carve off whatever you want. The next day at the Los Angeles International Airport, a Yakuza member reports that the deal is done. Creed just walked away with the money. Back in Japan, a Yakuza boss hangs up the phone stating that the animal Sabretooth has been dealt with. So if the Hand has the guts to show themselves, they'll shoot them as many times as their stupid ninja faces want. Just as the meeting begins, there's an opening at the temple doors and a young man steps through stating that he hopes he isn't late. One of the Yakuza asks, who the hell is this guy? And the young man says, Azuma Goda, and he'll be representing the Hand today. Another Yakuza says that they don't deal with lackeys, where's Wilson Fisk? And Goda says, probably stuffing his face, but I'm the man that you want to talk to. Oh, and I was the one who had your boss take Naka thrown out of a plane in midair. I was the one who started this entire war. So if there isn't any more questions, can we get started? Elsewhere on the road to the meeting, Logan rides his motorcycle when suddenly he crashes through a wire trap, shredding his bike, leaving him hanging. From behind the trees, Creed walks out saying, you know, this sounds crazy, Logan, but someone swore up and down that you would become a school teacher. Now, if you're teaching, what the hell kind of class would you be qualified to teach? Creed then hits the switch on his jetpack, stating, it's always been a pleasure, Runt, and he takes off. As Creed heads over to the meeting, he reports to Goda that Logan has been wily coyoted, and he'll be there in about 30 seconds. Back at the temple, as the Yakuza all point their guns at him, Goda tells him, It's fine, take your time. As the call ends, Logan jumps off of a cliff, tackling into Creed, telling him, "You're gonna wish you stayed dead." Back at the temple, one of the Yakuza bosses tells Gota that he must be the worst ninja that there ever was. They will be sure to kill him and mail his bits back to Wilson Fisk. Gota says that he rather likes his bits where they are, and hello, bits have been threatened, so that's the cue. Suddenly, hand ninjas jump out of the ground and Gota shouts, "Yes, whet your swords! Death to the Yakuza! Long live the hand!" In the tunnels below the temple, more ninjas run to attack, and suddenly both Logan and Creed are pushed down. With the fighting between the Yakuza and the Hand as well as Logan and Creed, one of the Hand ninjas tells Gota that it would be wise for him to get to safety. Gota says that that's ridiculous, he isn't going anywhere until the guest of honor shows up. And next to him, the captured Yamiko tells her, "My dad is going to kill you!" And Gota says that it's not her father that he's interested in. As a wall explodes, Gota says, "There's our man. I was hoping your boyfriend would show up. Just wasn't expecting such an outlandish getup from the son of the Silver Samurai." A few moments go by and Shin begins to rip through a group of ninjas, and Gota says that it's almost a shame that they have to kill him. Notice how I said almost? So why isn't he dead yet? Amiko yells for Shin to run, but her cries pierce through the killing, and Logan asks, "Is that Amiko?" Creed slashes into Logan's back, telling him to keep your head in the game. And then he lunges in for another attack, with Logan jumping over him, telling him, "See, that's the difference between the two of us." And then he stabs Creed in the back and punches one of his claws into Creed's head, telling him, "I actually have something to fight for." While Gota watches Shin kill more ninjas, Amiko says that his ninjas really suck, and then she wraps her chains around his neck. Shin shouts that they need to get out of here, but as Shin gets closer to Amika, Logan charges in, shouting for Shin to stay the hell away from my daughter. As he tackles into Shin, Amiko shouts, "You idiot!" Suddenly she's picked up by her chains by Creed, and he tells her to keep her hands off the boss. He still owes me my money. Meanwhile, Shin tries to rock it off, but Logan clings to him as they crash outside, telling him that "You should never have dragged my daughter into this, pal." Shin says that she is not his daughter, and he is not his pal. And Logan says, "Fine, who the hell are you then?" Shin says that his name is Shingen Harada. His friends call him Shin, but you can call him the Silver Samurai. Logan swings, stating that he can't just put on a costume and call himself a samurai. Doesn't matter who his daddy is. As Shin blocks the hits, he says that he loves how he's getting a lecture on his own culture from an American. Logan charges in, telling him, "I'm Canadian." And Shin tells him, "That's even worse!" Shin tries to punch Logan back into the woods, telling him, "Just go back to Canada!" And as Logan gets up, he throws a tree trunk, knocking Shin down. Logan runs back in, telling him, "This isn't a kid's game that we're playing." And Shin jets down, kicking Logan into a tree, stabbing him in place, telling him, "I grew up a long time ago." Power begins to gather around Shin's fist, and then a giant purple explosion goes off, leaving nothing but ash in its wake. As Shin gets back up, a katana cuts through the smoke, and a smoldering Logan steps out, telling him, "You may think you're all grown up, but there's plenty of growing up that is yet to be done." Back at the temple, Gota shouts and just forget about the girl and kill the samurai. Logan and Shin hurry back to the main fight, and Logan knocks him away, telling him, "You might want to get into a new line of work, and also get a new girlfriend." As Logan goes back to killing more hand ninjas, Shin gets up, telling him, "I can see why my dad always hated this guy." Then Creed stands over him, telling him, well, looky at what we have here." After picking up Shin, Gota tells the Yakuza, "I suggest you go and bury your dead while you still have people to do the digging." And then a cloud of smoke covers them. The Yakuza open fire, and as the smoke fades, Gota, Creed, and Shin are all gone. Later that night, Logan, Yukio, and Amiko all go to the hospital, while Amiko says they need to find Shin. Logan tells her not to worry, they will, but as they come up to a man in a bed, Logan asks, "Who's this, and how the hell is he gonna help us find the hand?" Yukio says that this is Momoru, and according to her records, he's been in a coma for 5 years. Logan pops a claw. 5 years, huh? Looks like we need to give him some motivation to wake up. Logan cuts the tube connected to him and tells everyone not to touch him. Nurses rush in, saying that they need to help him or he'll die, and Logan tells them, "Nah, I don't think so." A few moments later, Mamoru jumps out of his bed, shouting, "You insufferable bastard, I will kill you!" Later, atop the hospital roof, Logan and Momura stand armed with katanas, and Amiko says that Yukio said that they were supposed to fight, and it's been about 15 minutes. Yukio says if that's what she believes, then she is simply not watching. More time passes, and Momoru shouts, "Impossible!" And Logan bows, telling him that that was a splendid battle. Momoru says, "But I just killed you! In 487 moves, you have never beaten me." He then throws his sword down, saying, "You just wasted 5 years of work. I almost had enough to capture the people who have been secretly murdering coma patients. I just needed another 2 years. Logan tells him, "I'm sorry for that, but once I finish my business with a hand, I'll help you. Right now, I need the help of the only ninja who will talk to me."
Momoru says that the Hand are not ninja, they are the cheapest imitations, slandering a once proud art. The rats of the Hand used many places to hide in the darkness, none as much as the Yoshimi tombs. Meanwhile, at the tombs, Goda slices a slit into Shin's neck, stating, "I could kill you, but we would still have the problem of the war with the Yakuza for me to deal with. So maybe after I'm done stuffing you with the flesh-eating beetles, you might be able to help me. I'll wait until you're done screaming, of course." Later, outside of the tomb's entrance, Logan tells Yukio, "This is it. Are you sure that Amiko was unconscious when we left?" Yukio says that she passed her bedroom. She won't be awake for hours. Back in the trees behind them, Amiko says, "Duh, like I don't have a gas mask in my bedroom." As Logan and Yukio enter, one of the Hand ninjas reports that they are here for the boy. Another ninja says that, and probably they're going to kill most of them as well. Another calls out that they are fools to dare enter the cave of the Mind Ninjas, and Mystique says the only sounds that she wants to hear are the screams of the man who killed her. Once inside of the tombs, Logan sees a flash and tells Yukio to watch out. He then opens his eyes again and he finds himself washed up on the shores of hell. Again. Logan gets up stating, "Oh how?" And then the devil rides by stating, "Hello, James. Are you enjoying the swim?" Logan tells him, "This can't be. Am I still in hell?" And the devil shouts, "There it is! Look at the infernal realization that you have been in hell all along." Logan says, "I don't believe it. Was it all a dream?" And the devil says, "Not entirely." Then Logan's 5 estranged children walk up telling him, "Hello." Meanwhile, back in the real world, Yukio fights back the Mind Ninja, shouting for Logan to hurry up and get up. As the ninjas surround Yukio, smoke starts to shoot out of the wheelchair and suddenly she's gone. The ninjas begin to ask where, and then the chair explodes. And that's when Victor, Creed, and Mystique walk out stating, "She's just one cripple, go find her." Over in the control room, Shin watches a monitor with Amiko making her way through, and he shouts that if he hurts her, Goda stops him, telling him, yes, you'll perform all sorts of subtly gruesome acts upon each of my bodily cavities. However, what I would like the answer to is a simple question. Shin says that he can't do what he's asking, and Goda says, "Fine, meaty ribbons it is then." Back in the cave, Amiko walks through and suddenly gas begins to fill the area. She calls out that they should just come out. Don't be afraid of a little girl. That's when Amiko sees a giant dragon come out of the smoke and begin roaring. She pulls down her mask, saying that that's the dragon that killed her mother and ruined her life. She's always dreamed that one day it would come back. Back with Logan, the children all begin to eat and bite into his flesh, and Logan asks, "Have I been in hell this entire time? I can't think straight. It's like someone's shooting me in the face." Which, in fact, is what Mystique is doing in the real world. Creed says that shooting off his face is seriously one of the sexiest things he's ever seen her do. A few days earlier, Logan remembered back to his training with Rachel, and how sometimes if he finds himself in a mental bind, it's okay to go a little berserker. From the shores, the children say that Logan looks a little different this time, and instead of the regular Logan walking out, it's Berserker Logan. As Berserker Logan tears into the children, the real Logan tears into the Hand Ninjas. Back with Amiko, the dragon throws her against a wall and she tells it that she really hopes that she tastes like crap. But before the dragon can bite down, she grabs a rock and stabs it into the dragon's paw. Suddenly, the illusion of the dragon fades and she sees that the big bad dragon is just a bunch of ninjas in a costume. A bunch of ninjas that she can easily kill. Seconds later, Shin rockets by, cutting through the ninjas, and grabs Amiko, telling her that they just have to get out of here. Amiko says that she was supposed to be rescuing him, and he tells her that the Hand doesn't care about him anymore. They're too busy dying. Elsewhere, Goda and Creed strap on their jetpacks, and they escape while Berserker slaughters the ninjas around him. Yukio says that there's no sign of the samurai boy, and Logan tells her he escaped with Amiko. But in the back of Logan's mind, he tells himself that he thought he was in hell, under the influence of the Hand, not in his right mind. Now though, God help him, because he knows exactly what he's doing, and as he kisses Yukio, he says he's going berserk. Back at the Yoshida treasure, Shin cuts into the door and Amiko asks what is even going on. Shin tells her that the treasure of the Silver Samurai belongs to him, as does the clan of Yoshida. Goda's voice tells him that he should rephrase that, and Shin tells him, "I'm sorry, Amiko." Goda and Creed step in, stating that it belongs to them now. However, back in the grave, Yukio rides through on a horse, stating that she's sorry that she missed the fight, but wait, why does it smell like there's more than killing going on here? At another part of the graves, Mystique converted back from Yukio's form, stating that she wanted to see if her powers are strong enough to fool even Logan's senses, which they did. And even though she just made love to the man who killed her, she's not done screwing with him yet. Over in the States, Wilson Fisk looks at a picture of Goda, asking, "Who's this?" A subordinate says that it's Azuma Goda, head of the Tokyo branch, and Wilson stops him saying, Was head. I never authorized a war with the Yakuza. Kill him and be sure to send someone good. Over at the airport, Lord Deathstrike picks up his suitcase and he heads to Japan. However, back in the treasure room, Amiko slaps Shin and Creed tells her to forget her. They'll get him another. Goda laughs, stating, there will be plenty of women for us all. There's just work to be done. And as of now, the hand is officially dead in Japan. The next morning, Creed reports to Goda that it's done. The Wolverine just killed every last shuriken, tossing one of them. Goda looks off his balcony, stating, at last, no more fools running around in costumes. No more Wilson Fisk. Now we can finally begin with the hand out of the way thanks to Wolverine killing them all. Creed asks, what exactly you're trying to do now? And Goda tells him, let me ask a question. Who's the scariest of the villains in the world? Creed thinks about it and says, obviously me for one. But maybe Dr. Doom? There's also that big purple guy who eats planets. Goda tells him, wrong. It's the villains you've never heard of. The ones who are solely in the shadows, yet control and exploit every single facet of life. Instead of me being brought back to life and staying the same, how about we rebuild and transform what the hand used to be? That is, assuming our new friend hasn't lost his nerve yet. Down on the highway, Shin says that he can't do this, and Mystique tells him it's just a bunch of bloated Yakuza bosses. He's got the silver samurai armor and the big glowing swords. Also, let her remind him that he doesn't have a choice because if he doesn't, she'll kill him and take his form and do it herself. Back at Goda's penthouse, Goda hands Creed a paper stating, these are the names of the most secretive assassins. These are the only people that we need to make this work. But our first target is going to be dear old Wolverine. He worked for us, now it's time for him to die. Creed tells him, it looks like you got all the angles covered. And Goda says, yeah, all but one. And that's for me to become invisible. There's only one real way to do that, isn't there? As the night falls, Goda stands on his balcony as a woman hugs him, telling him to come back to the garden. There are still so many fruits for him to taste. He tells her, I'll be there shortly. I'm just enjoying the beautiful night. A laser is then pointed at his head, and a gun fires, shooting him right in the forehead. Lord Deathstrike scans the body to see if there's any signs of life, and then Goda jumps back up, kicking Deathstrike. As Mystique begins to change back her form, Goda watches, shouting, why is she fighting back? She's supposed to be playing dead. But on another monitor, Creed says, it looks like that could still be arranged. Wolverine is here. Goda shouts, asking, how could he have found us? And Creed just grins. Creed walks off and Goda chases him. You did this, didn't you? You sold me out! And Creed says, that's one way of looking at it. Another way would be that I really didn't give a damn in the first place. Stepping into the balcony where Mystique and Lord Deathstrike are fighting, Creed says, there's one thing that is different about me coming back to life. I came back for something a lot bigger than you. As he jets off with his jetpack, he tells Goda, by the way, getting stabbed with those claws hurt like holy hell. Seconds later, Logan kicks in the door. Goda turns and fires right into Logan's face. Meanwhile, falling down the building, Mystique and Lord Deathstrike continue fighting when Creed tells them, hang on! Remember when we all used to be friends, right? A few moments later, Logan looks off of Goda's balcony and says, God, I love this country. And as he walks away, Goda's body hangs over the ledge, blood pouring down the side of the building. Later, back at Yukio and Amiko's home, Yukio tells Amiko that it's okay, there'll be other guys. But through her sobs, she says that she doesn't want a new boyfriend, just to kill her old one. However, as Logan packs up to head back to the States, Creed, along with Mystique, Lord Deathstrike, and Shin, all begin taking down any and all major players in Tokyo. Just as Logan leaves, he says that he can't help but wonder what he's accomplished here. Yukio tells him that he just wiped out the hand in Tokyo, won a war, but he can always come to visit more often. Logan tells her, this is Japan. I will always come back. And then Amiko yells for him to wait. She leans out of her room saying, she just heard the police radio say that there's a robbery. Maybe he doesn't have to leave so soon? Logan looks back and he smiles. However, Logan's story doesn't end here. It ends in Madripoor, at Victor Creed's birthday party where some of the world's biggest villains have gathered. And just as the last of the guests arrive, a bloody bodyguard is thrown through the door and Logan asks, why is everyone standing around? I thought this was a party. Creed smiles and says, it is now. And everyone charges towards Logan. He begins killing everyone at arm's reach, and anyone that's not, he runs over stabbing and impaling them. Just as Logan hacks up Mystique, Creed jumps in clawing at Logan's face, and Logan laughs. Ha ha ha! I'm sorry I had to crash the party, but it got me thinking. It reminded me of how once a year, you would just call to beat my ass because you could. As Logan stabs into Creed's stomach and he rips the claws out, he goes on telling him, I remember, it's been a rough couple of years, but that's no excuse for forgetting special traditions, which is why I'm here now. As Creed falls to the ground, Logan tells him, happy birthday from your old pal Wolverine. Now, I'm gonna leave everyone to party. I'll see you all next year. Later that night at the bartender asks, would you like to start a tab? And Logan tells him, I sure do. He thinks to himself that this is it. Cold beer in his gullet, football on the TV, and Creed's blood on his hands. Yup, this is it.
And there you have it, Wolverine back in Japan, resolving storylines that were left hanging, but what the hell was that? It was an amazing ending. He just murdered and slaughtered and berserked everything. Anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date on your favorite comic books, your classics, and your new ones. And don't forget, you can also find me on Twitter at Comicstorian. You can check out a video right here, and you can check out another video right here. This one I'll probably make Wolverine. This one's probably going to be a YouTube algorithm selection for you. And over here somewhere will be the sub button. I'll see you next time right here.